from a 200-hour yoga teacher to a 500-hour yoga teacher. In order to do that, you have to have a 300-hour certificate. Let me tell you about how you can do that and why it's so important. So let's talk about why first. Continuing education is key. It's pretty much a requirement in any profession. In the yoga world, it's not a requirement, it's encouraged. So I'm encouraging you to make it a requirement.
Oh, that's clever.
Nowadays, we condense our 200 hours into a very short period of time. Bikram does a 9-week condensed training. The Barkan method is a 4-week condensed teacher training program. So when you're condensing all of that information, it's hard to retain it. I learned more from Bikram after I was certified, and in my day it was almost a 2-year certification. We did 3 to 4 classes a day, 3 classes a day with Bikram every day for almost 2 years.
Doc, that's way too much.
In the yoga world, I think it's a 2-year certification as well. But when you're condensing it all into a very short period of time, there's so much information to forget. Bikram would come to my house every year, do a workshop back then for free, and stay at my house, and I'd pick his brain on yoga and philosophy. I'd go to Bikram's house and stay with Bikram 3-4 times a year, same thing. Sometimes he would fly me to LA because he had to go to India, and I would teach his classes for him. Back then, we taught every single class on the schedule. 4 or 5 classes a day. It was insane. But the point is, I learned so much more after I was certified, because now you can settle in, you can relax. You don't have to worry about cramming the information in to pass the test. Now you can take your time getting your 300-hour certificate and beyond and continue to be a student. That's the key. When I'm in a room with yoga teachers, how many people here are yoga students? Everybody's hand should go up. You want to continue to be a student. Continuing education is key. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Hit the like button. If you want to learn all about hot yoga, tutorials, factoids, flows, hit the like button and the subscribe button right now. For decades, when I would coach people in my teacher training programs, I'd say, a lot of the things I'm telling you now is going to apply to you 6 months from now, a year from now, when you've been teaching for a while, because like I said, you got so much information to think about. You've got timing, you got the sequence. In the Bikram world, people know the 26 and tube. In the Barkan world, we've added on a whole bunch of postures that are a little more difficult. You got timing, sequence, modifications, corrections. You got so much to think about. It's hard for you to get into, like I said before, the nuances of your teaching. But now that you've been teaching for a while, now we can roll up our sleeves and really get to work on your communication skills. And we're going to do that a lot more in an advanced teacher training program or a 300-hour certification program. So when Bikram and I split in 2002, 2003, I started my own condensed teacher training programs. But right away, because I knew the importance of continuing education, in 2004, I started my live level 2 and 3 Barkan method certification programs. So once again, we can roll up our sleeves and get into the nuances. Now that we're already teachers, we don't have to worry about passing tests. Now we can really let the information come in. We can absorb that information, which is going to make us more credible yoga teachers. So how do you get your 300-hour certification? We'll talk about the how now.
How now?
Yoga Alliance has set the standard where it's not an accumulation of hours. You don't do an 80-hour certification here in the Ashtanga world, and then an 80-hour certification here in the Bikram world, and then a 20-hour certification in the Iyengar world, and eventually you'll add up to 300 hours. The way Yoga Alliance standard is, you have to have all your 300 hours in one particular school. Doesn't mean that you had to have taken your 200-hour from that school. So let's say you're a 200-hour Baron Baptiste teacher, you can take the 300-hour Barkan certification, and now Yoga Alliance will give you the 500-hour status.
Could you say that again?
So if you're interested in taking a Barkan certification, there are 2 ways of getting that. The first way you can earn your 300-hour Barkan certification program is to graduate from 3 level 2 trainings. I actually call them level 2/3. The level 3 part are advanced postures that we explore in our live trainings and online trainings as well. So let me tell you about the live trainings that are coming up. May 11th to the 18th, 2004, we are in Costa Rica for the 24th time at Pura Vida Spa. It's really an extraordinary time. As I call it, the country club teacher training program, because we're 6,000 feet up into the mountains of Alajuela. I think that's 1,500 or so kilometers, looking down at the valley of San Jose. It's really an extraordinary experience. You have the whole day off on Wednesday to explore the country. It's a wonderful way to do a level 2 training. The next one's in Iceland, July 7th to the 11th, in Reykjavik. This wonderful club they call the World Class Spa. It's like the LA Fitness of Reykjavik, Iceland, and that's going to be more condensed. Also in Australia, we're going to be doing one in August. The dates are not set, and same thing with Fort Lauderdale in October. The dates are not set. So if you do 3 Barkan method live teacher training, live level 2 and 3 teacher training programs, you then will receive a 300-hour Barkan certification. And the other way of receiving a Barkan 300-hour certification is through the online on-demand teacher training program, which shouldn't be instead of. I always talk about this. You want to do it along with. I mean, it can be instead of if you have time and travel restrictions, but along with, so you have all this information on your computer at your fingertips for lifetime access. A lot of courses, they give you a year and then you're cut off. You can't access the information. You get access for lifetime videos, tutorials, and all the curriculum that's involved. And let's talk about what that is. Now, this is the curriculum that's both in the live and the on-demand training. First and foremost, first is the tutorials. We go over every single posture from beginning modifications to advanced amplifications. We go over the 5 vinyasas that start the class. We go over the balancing postures and the floor poses, all the different areas of the body we target for that particular day. Tutorials are very important. Next up is history. One of my passions is the history of yoga. You're going to learn from the beginning of time all the way through present day time, how yoga started from a spiritual base, which it continues to be, how we transitioned more into the postural side of yoga in modern day times in the West. Give you all that information, once again, on your computer in a PowerPoint presentation for lifetime access. The one thing I don't have time to do in our live teacher training program, so we just don't have the time because it's a 1-week training, but in the online course we have the flexibility of the computer, is 8 sessions of meditation. So just to give you a little history, Bikram's guru was Vishnu Ghosh. Vishnu Ghosh's guru and older brother was Paramahansa Yogananda, arguably the most famous spiritual yogi that came from India to the United States. He came here in 1920. His book, Autobiography of a Yogi, was the only book Steve Jobs had on his iPhone when he died. Autobiography of a Yogi. These are techniques that Paramahansa Yogananda and his organization taught me. I was certified in Kriya Yoga in 1983. And I don't teach you the Kriya Yoga techniques because I took a vow not to do that. You want to get that directly with them. But other techniques that I am allowed to teach you that were passed down to me, I pass now on to you. And at the end of each meditation session is a guided meditation. Choose one that you really love and you can have it once again on your computer forever. We also have over 6 hours of anatomy that's specifically geared to yoga. So you're going to see the different body parts that you use and the muscles that you use for this pose and for that pose. And as a yoga teacher, once again, it's golden, it's important to have, and you have it on your computer forever. And last but not least, and maybe the most important, and I've said this before, is me coaching you. You're going to have video assignments. You're going to send me a video each week of you teaching. If you're teaching in a studio, if you have a tripod, put your camera on the tripod and just record a section of that class, because the whole class would be too long of a file. And you send me a short video of you teaching, and I give you feedback on becoming a better communicator. Here you could have been stronger. Here you could have been softer. I love how you did this. Let's build from there. So me coaching you to become a better communicator, once again, is going to revolutionize the way that you communicate to your students. Get the information across so they actually can hear you. I call it finding the conversation voice. Because if you're rambling off in a repeated tone, a repeated pattern of speech, students are going to tune you out.
This is so boring.
You've got to get their ear. And it's easier said than done. That's why I can help you and coach you to get there, to get off of your self-consciousness, off of your nervousness, and apply it to a real-life situation. I believe that's what my calling is now. Helping to coach you become the best communicator you can be. And I know I said that was last but not least, but this is actually last but not least. We do live sessions every Thursday, 4 o'clock Eastern time. If you're not able to make it, we record it. I send you the recording. So you're not alone. We tap into a community. People come on Zoom, put them on your gallery view, and we check in. Okay, Elena, how was your class today? Okay, Joe, how was your class today? Did you have a challenge, something you want to bring to the table so we can talk about it, and how maybe you could have better handled the situation? Or maybe you handled the situation beautifully, you're going to share it with the other students to help them. And then at the end of these live sessions, I post pictures, and we play the game. What's wrong with this picture? Legs too high, legs too low. Her back is in a position where she may hurt herself. We need to bring the toes over the heels so we can get the IT band, and so on and so on. I love that session. It's really the highlight of my week because we tap into the community, support each other as teachers, and it's a wonderful way to connect, which is what yoga is all about. Union, yoke, connection. If you're interested in a 300-hour yoga certification, not in the hot yoga world, not in the Barkan world, I advise you and I encourage you to seek out a senior teacher to help you on your journey. If, however, you are a hot yoga person, a Bikram student or Barkan student, and you're looking to explore the 300-hour certification, live or online, I put links in the description below. Costa Rica, Iceland, Australia, Fort Lauderdale, and the live training. take a look down at the links in the description below, put in your application, we can set up a Zoom link, and I can give you even more of a preview, show you what it's like. So that's our episode for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Hit the like button. If you want to learn all about hot yoga, that's what I'm an expert at. Hit the like button and the subscribe button right now, and I'll see you at the next video. Bye, everyone.